All right. Welcome to my channel. My name is 12 Gauge. If this is your first time here, I hope that you enjoy and find something that you can dive into, something that piques your mind. We have a little bit of everything from concert videos to short stories. We have true crime. We have substance abuse. We have life skills. We have just a little bit of everything. So I hope that you enjoy what you encounter. Leave me a comment or tell your friends and like my channel if it touches your intellectual mindset. Um, Tonight we're gonna talk about if you're familiar with Texas, we're gonna talk about Fredericksburg, which is in the Hill Country, and a crime that occurred there. And then we're gonna head to the Galveston area where there's a beach called Surfside Beach, where a missing 17-year-old has been reported missing. So we're going to dive into these two cases. It is part of my Texas Missing broadcast. I hope you enjoy these. And once again, if you have a little bit of kindness to say, leave it in the comment section. Well, here we go.
Texas Hill Country. A Houston man is shot and killed by a woman who tells authorities that man drugged and kidnapped her.
The woman is from Montgomery County. She was found Friday near a winery along Highway 290 near Fredericksburg. Stephen Goen is learning more about her alleged kidnapper.
I've got a second 911 caller.
It started with a 911 call last Friday, just before 1 p.m.
290 East and Distillery Road. She's advising that she just shot somebody.
A Montgomery County woman told authorities that she had been kidnapped and drugged and shot somebody.
She said she shot him all over.
The deputy observed a male in the front seat area who appeared to be deceased.
It happened close to a winery on Highway 290 near Fredericksburg. That woman was located near a truck where a man was found dead. Tonight, the Gillespie County Sheriff, Buddy Mills, telling us that woman was traveling with a man she knew.
The two had recently met and were familiar with one another and were on a planned weekend trip together when this occurred.
The man who was shot identified as 49-year-old Lance Damon Reed, who lived in Houston. His father, Barry Reed, speaking with us tonight.
Absolutely strange and unbelievable. I mean, he's always been very straight arrow.
Telling us he was in disbelief when other family members told him about the allegations against his son, who he claims was not a violent person. Barry says he last spoke to his son over a month ago, but there was no mention of a new woman in his life.
It's just a shocking, unbelievable thing. I can't imagine Lance doing something like that. And he certainly doesn't do drugs.
Barry says he thought his son was driving through Texas on his way to New Mexico to meet a cousin, but now he tells us he doesn't know what to think. Lance's wife, Kelly Reed, also speaking with us over the phone. Tonight, she confirmed to us that Lance had only lived in the Houston area for about 3 months. She says he moved to Texas from their home in California for a new engineering job. In a brief statement to KHOU 11, Kelly wrote, "There's an ongoing and thorough investigation. There's a lot more information to offer. We're confident the truth will come out and that justice will be served." In Houston, Stephen Goen, KHOU 11 News.
Texas Hill Country.
To the Hill Country, Fredericksburg. Let me give you a little backdrop on what Fredericksburg is. And I'll even pull it up on the map so that you can see exactly what type of town it is. Because it's an awesome little town. It has a lot to offer. A lot to offer. But recanting what this individual said, what the news reporter said, is they were planning a weekend trip together. So what would have went wrong that caused her to shoot him? It said that he kidnapped her and drugged her. So I'm like, what would have caused that to happen? I'm about to show you what Fredericksburg looks like. Here's Fredericksburg right here. We're going to go down the main street. This is 290, where that supposedly happened. So here's Main Street. And this is an area where they have a lot of shops, a lot of shopping, things of that nature. And they have a lot of wine tasting. They have wineries around here. Looks like I'm going, see, US 290. So let me go ahead and go back a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take you through downtown. This is Main Street and it ends up being 290. So this is going the opposite way from where she shot him at. Just going through downtown. I'm going to show you some of the shops. As you can tell, that's kind of a little lazy type town. This is a museum. And you can see all these little shops right here along this sidewalk. See, they have a boutique. And you can legally get some wine from one and walk down these sidewalks and sip your wine. You can get a bottle of wine. You can do whatever you want. Maybe drink a beer or whatever. But it's legal. See, you can see how all these little shops are. So this is a good place to, to get a romantic getaway with somebody. The individual that they were talking about was 49 years old. So, maybe he wanted to get some time to be able to get to know this lady better. And they wanted to go to Fredericksburg. Look at the little shops and everything like that. Like I said, it's a lovely little town. The last time I went was I went during Christmas this last year. Christmas time. So it was lit up. See, they have little shops. You can go into these little shops and just, it's like a Czech I can't even say the word. Czech town. So let me exit the map there for a minute. According to the map, this area right here is around the area where the shooting occurred. It's right outside of town, heading towards Austin. You can hit 290 all the way, and you'll be hitting Austin. So somewhere around here on this road is where she shot him. Killed him. As you can tell, there's not a lot out here. Just a lot of trees and vegetation. Not a lot going on. There's winery, trees and things of that nature, Big houses. Blurred out things. I don't get why people blur their houses or their businesses. I don't get that at all. But I guess they have their own reasoning for it. I don't see why it'd be a big deal. But as you can tell, this road is not one of those roads where, you know, you could do something like that and not get away, without somebody seeing you. And as it said on that, I think that's a school. As it said on that newscast, kidnapped. I don't believe it. Let's go ahead and read the article on it. Okay, it says sheriff, woman shot, alleged kidnapper, man found dead in Fredericksburg, Gillespie County, Texas. Law enforcement found a man dead Friday after a woman called 911 and said she was shot. She shot her alleged kidnapper, according to the Gillespie County Sheriff's Office. On Monday, officials identified the 911 caller as 45-year-old Amy Lejeune from Montgomery, Texas. The man who died had been identified as a 49-year-old Lance Reed from the Houston area. Around 12:42, Gillespie County Sheriff Buddy Mills said Lejeune called police saying she was drugged and kidnapped. We don't really know other than that what she's explaining to us, what may have occurred in their travel. The two had recently met. GCSO said the incident happened near State Theory Winery and Signer Vineyards on East U.S. Highway 290. A deputy found a vehicle that matched Lejeune's description and found Reed dead in the front seat area. A manager at Signer Vineyards said Lejeune ran up to their driveway begging for help Friday afternoon. Kazan obtained dispatch audio from Gillespie County via Broadcastify. She's advising that she's been drugged and she's been kidnapped as well. She said she shot him all over. Let's hear what she says. Of course, we got to listen to an advertisement first.
Just shot somebody. She's been drugged and she's been kidnapped. She's advising that the gun she used is going to be a Glock 43. She is screaming in the background. She said she shot him all over.
Wow.
Alfred, I'm coming in.
It says Mills told Kazan Lejeune was taken to the hospital to be evaluated and released to return home after speaking with deputies. Investigators had not filed charges against Lejeune for the shooting death. This is an isolated deal. Gillespie County is a very, very safe community. The investigation is ongoing. So, drugged and kidnapped. That's some stuff right there, isn't it? She shot him all over. What do y'all think about that? You think it was a true story? You think she made it up? You think it sounds like she may have not wanted to be with him anymore and he just wasn't hearing it and she shot and killed him? I mean, it sounds to me like a very, I don't want to say suspect or sketchy story, because it seems like anybody hears any stories nowadays, they instantly say, well, there's something sketchy about that. There's something suspect about that. Well, not necessarily. I mean, it could have been as innocent as she wanted to get away and he wouldn't let her. And she got, she was drugged and kidnapped. So what does that mean? She was drugged with what? wine, pills, weed, meth. I mean, what was she drugged with? Obviously, she was coherent enough to shoot the man all over and kill him, which I don't understand how she should be able to get away with shooting him more than once or twice to immobilize him to get out of the truck. You get what I'm saying? Like, as you saw in the other video, he was a bigger guy, but still, man, you need to unload the Glock on him. That just don't make sense. How can that be self-defense if he didn't have a weapon? If he didn't have a weapon, then how was she fearful for her life? She knew him. Obviously, she was with him down there in Fredericksburg, as far as we can see. And she didn't have any issues with running away when they were downtown or screaming or anything like that. I mean, I'm just theorizing that they stopped and walked around, you know. So Montgomery is the other direction, I guess. So he went from Houston to Montgomery, picked her up. They were going back to Houston. I don't know. I have to do some more research on this one, but let's get into the search for a missing 17-year-old that went missing in Surfside Beach, which is right outside of Galveston and in between Galveston and Corpus. And here we go.
Evening with the desperate search for a 17-year-old swimmer who went under the water at Surfside Beach. Now, he disappeared on Saturday and he's been missing ever since.
Dozens of volunteers have come together to try to help. Fox 26's Dominique Keith is joining us live in Surfside tonight. Dominique.
Yeah, so many people are praying for the recovery of 17-year-old Henry Murillo. Now, he is from North Houston, but he and his family arrived here at Surfside Beach around noon on Saturday. They were just about to leave just before 5 p.m. And Henry's mom and brother tell me Henry wanted to get into the water one last time. So he went back in. His little brother, George, followed him into the water. His little brother is 13 years old. And George says he thought they were getting too far away from shore. And here's George telling the rest of the story.
At one point, I stopped, and then I told him to come back. So that's when at the point that he couldn't even feel the sand anymore. And then he said, "I'm drowning, come help me."
Using drones, helicopters, and boats, the U.S. Coast Guard, law enforcement, and dozens of volunteers, including from Texas EquiSearch, have been looking for missing 17-year-old Henry Murillo from North Houston, who was on spring break with his family when he went into the water here at Surfside Beach on Saturday and somehow went under.
We have children of our own, and so we couldn't imagine, missing a child and not having any answers. So that's one of the main reasons that we come out to help.
The owners of Surfside's Hooked on Tackle shop, William and Lindsay Yerson, have been searching the shoreline and putting their drones in the air, trying to help find Henry, who's a student at Aldine ISD's Davis High School.
I mean, we were one of the first people out here before anybody else showed up, and I put them in the air in the vicinity, and I just start trying to see if I can help find him.
Our heart goes out to the family.
Surfside Beach Police Department Chief William Monsier says there were harsh red flag conditions Saturday when the teen went under, and the choppy water hasn't gotten any better.
So our conditions right now are, again, our beach is unforgiving. So we have strong rip currents again today with strong winds.
Now, the chief says this is no longer a rescue, but a recovery mission. But 17-year-old Henry Murillo's mom says she is staying in prayer and remaining hopeful that her baby will be found and rescued alive. Reporting live in Surfside, I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
How sad. That is so sad. One thing you guys need to learn or know is you need to observe the caution flags near the water. I didn't grow up near the beach. I didn't grow up near the water down there, but one thing a lot of people don't know is what the flags mean. So before you go to the beach, it'd be good if you kind of learned what those flags mean so you don't go into the water whenever it's choppy like that. Because you never know if you could get sucked under. You might be tired. You might not have the energy to fight off those waves. I mean, something could have stung him. You know, God forbid a shark grabbed him and pulled him under. I mean, another thing is never go swimming first thing in the morning or during the evening. That's feeding time. So a lot of times these animals that are in the marine environment don't know the difference between you and another fish or some kind of animal that they want to feast on. Just be safe out there. I feel so bad for that mom because they might not ever find him. You know, he's in the ocean. He's not in a lake or a river or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the start of this new series. This was my first 2 cases that I'm putting on here. It'll get more in depth with the more information that we have. Obviously, these 2 cases don't have a lot of information because they just happened. But if they go on, I'll update you. Because you know what? The Idaho 4 is a great case to talk about. But I don't believe in all the conspiracy, all the rehashing, and I've done some myself. But I've gotten to a point where I can't go anymore with it. We did a live the other day for 4 hours, and it was just too much. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome evening and the rest of the week. I'll be back shortly. Take care of each other and yourself.